So,
Boston Trail 5K, finished second overall in 18:25. So another second place finish. Damn it. I actually won this race last year. This is on the Gap Trail in Boston, PA. Kind of flat, not my type of thing, but whatever. Turned out to be a nice day. Car says 58 right now. I don't think it's that, but it was closer to like 42 when we started. Kind of overcast, definitely windy as shit. Especially when the wind started going today, you could definitely feel it. I still just wore compression shorts with shorts over top, wore my Only Athletics jersey, normal hat, but I wore cut-off gloves today, like fingerless gloves, just to keep my hands a little bit warm before we started. Overall, I say I stayed pretty warm, especially once we started running. I did jog around a little bit beforehand a couple times, just to try to stay warm and loosen up a little bit. I don't know if it really worked. Well, whatever. I guess this race is for some group. I don't know what the actual group is, but it helps like maintain the trail and stuff like that. So it's always nice to support an organization that helps maintain the Gap Trail, because I'm on it a few times a year. So I guess it's my way of giving back while racing and having fun for my own benefit. Well, twice. I get to race and get to have good maintenance on the trail. Definitely not my best race on the trail. I think last year was like 18 minutes flat, so I was like 25 seconds slower this year. A lot of that had to do with the competition, which I'll get to here in a second. Wasn't sure what I was really going for today at the start of the race. I know I wasn't going for time. It was more, again, just for placement. So that's what I was doing. So I guess I can't be mad about second, even though I still wanted to win. I just ran into a better runner again today. There wasn't, I don't know, I want to say the competition wasn't great, because there was a couple other races going on today, and like really fast people were obviously going to the actual Boston Marathon tomorrow. So it did take away a little bit of competition. But it was just basically me and this one guy who finished first. Talked to him, pretty nice guy. It was just basically us two for the whole race. Well, I guess when we did start, there was a couple people that took off with us. But I sort of knew they weren't going to last, and we overtook them. But he just took off. The first place dude took off from the get-go. I hung back for a few seconds before weaving in and out and going through, just because I didn't want to turn and burn up. So I just did my little hang back type deal. I would say my legs felt good all race. My body felt good all race. I know as we started, I was running. He did gap me a little bit in the beginning. It was still, I would say, under 10 seconds. No more than 10. I'd say 5 to 7 seconds the whole time. To about 0.8-ish into the race. And then I noticed I slowly started closing the gap a little bit by little bit. And right away I wasn't sure, because I never raced this guy before. But he definitely looked fast. I couldn't tell if he was slowing up because he went out too fast from the start, or if just because he was bored and had the lead and nobody was pushing him. So I did slowly close the gap, kept pushing. We did have to weave in and out around a few people. that were on the trail, spectators and just normal trail use, to the turnaround. By the turnaround, I was just like right behind him. I mean, like a step, like as soon as he turned around the cone, I was turning around the cone. So there really wasn't a gap once we hit the turnaround. I did make a move. I don't know if it was right after the turn or we'll say like 20-30 yards after the turn. I got ahead of him just to see what would happen, because I figured if I caught him, I wanted to figure out if he was just like sandbagging it because he had nobody pushing him, or if he was fading. So I pushed a little bit, got ahead of him, but he stayed right behind me, and that was pretty much how we did it the rest of the race. Neither one of us honestly wanted to take the lead. I let him behind me a little bit, and then I stepped off, I got him to go around. Our pace definitely dropped because we were doing, I know the first mile was a 5:30. I want to say the second mile was about the same ish. It dropped off a little bit because that's when we started playing around with each other, just going back and forth, making each other take the lead. So as I realized he was like right behind me, I stepped around so he would get around me, and then he was running just slow and comfortably. So then I went around him. We did this a handful of times, back and forth, just switching positions, because again, neither one of us wanted to take the lead. But I guess we were kind of both being like assholes about it, but whatever. So we definitely both should have been into the 17s today, easily, the way we were both running. I still think he would have beat me hands down. He said he was hoping for like a 17 flatter into the 16s, which is way faster than I can run a 5K right now. So we just kept playing back and forth, and I was trying to let him lead so I could regain energy, and not burn up a little bit. I figured if he was going to let me hang right behind him, we were doing like 6s or 6:30s at one point. I don't know for how long, but I think it was a good couple tenths. I was like, if he's going to let me do this and just like draft off his back, I was like, I'm comfortable with that, so I could just recover a little bit for a nice little push at the end. And that's what I was sort of thinking about doing. About 2.8, 2.9, I was going to turn it up a little bit, and I tried. I was just waiting to pick my moment. At one point, I did have to go around him again because it was just getting too slow. We were getting too slow, and I was like, fuck. All right, I got to go around. But at the same time, maybe a tenth or two, we were side by side of each other. Again, both running comfortably. People were like passing us on the way out. Sometimes I had to squeeze in a little bit because people were going like 3-4 wide. And I knew I did have some issues with my MP3 player. I couldn't find a good song to get motivated to, and I was getting aggravated and pissed off about that because I was just like, all right, I need a song that's going to get me motivated and pumped up instead of like some slower stuff that just kept seeming to like popping up for like 10-15 songs in a row. So it was pissing me off. I even said, I was like, come on. I looked at my MP3 player and he heard me. So just little things like that this morning. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, we both know what we were doing to each other, so it wasn't like one person was being an asshole to the other. It was like we were both trying to get the other person to take the lead, and neither one of us wanted to do it. My breathing felt good. It felt in rhythm, I would say. And then at like 2.9 as we're coming in, I decided, all right, make your move now, and I just started sprinting. He had to be doing it too. He had to be gearing up because he was right on me. I'm pushing. And the same thing that happened last weekend is I must have taken too big of a breath because I started choking. It wasn't from being sick or anything like that. It was just like I just couldn't get enough oxygen or something like that. And it just like, I think it was from too big of a breath, and I just couldn't get enough into my lungs after I took a big breath. And it just like made my throat just like started choking. I think because it got like too dry, like taking in that big breath, it just like running hot at the time just sort of made my throat dry, and I just couldn't control it. I'm thinking that's what happened. So I started choking. He passed me, and then I'm finishing 20 seconds ahead of me ish. So the time that I had last year is what he got this year. Because you know, as soon as I started choking, there was no way for me to like catch back up. So I sort of blew it. I would like to have seen what would happen if I didn't choke. If we would have been side by side at the end, like, you know what I mean, like within like a step or two of each other crossing the finish line, or what, or he would have just like blown back past me anyhow. But it was fun, it was different. Still would have liked to have won, but again, no matter what happened today, he was definitely, from talking to him, he's definitely a faster, better runner than me, so I can't really be upset about it, even though I still wanted to win. I did feel like an asshole a little bit playing the game today, like that race strategy about not wanting to be in first to use up more energy, but it is what it is. I mean, we were neck and neck like most of the race. Well, the second half of the race, I guess. And if people would have saw us, you could tell they were just seeing, holy shit, there's two guys. Like, if we're like, okay, if we're sitting in a vehicle right now, that's how close we were basically the second half of the race. So just something different and a new experience. I enjoyed it. I don't know, hopefully get to race him again, maybe on better terms where I'm better in shape, that I could compete with him a little bit more. Other than that, it was me and him, and nobody else around us pushing us. Once we broke away a couple of tenths in, it was a big crowd today. I would say 400 and 450, I think, pre-registered. I don't know how many actually showed up to the race, because I was in the 5K, but there was also a half marathon as well that started 15 minutes before us. So we started at 9:15, the half started at 9. I would say it was probably about split participation wise, but I'd have to look later. So a decent sized race. I don't know. I know the half marathon, I will say that, he was like an hour 7 minutes, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it was definitely super fast today. It was definitely under 110. I want to say 107, maybe 106. It was kind of shocking that he was coming in, because I know before, like, the winning times were like 125s, 130s. So to have somebody come in that fast was a little bit of a shocker, because you usually just don't get that competition going to this race. But either way, again, this is on the Gap Trail down in Boston, PA. So it is pretty well maintained section of the trail. It's pretty well flat. It is a little bit of an incline going out and decline coming back, but nothing that's really going to burn your legs per se. Maybe unless you did the half, you might notice it a little bit more. I don't know. It was just windy after the race. I changed my clothes real quick, just standing around watching people come in. Took a couple live videos. I was doing some clips too. It was just freezing a little bit. Another half. Well, we'll say the 5K people basically like took off. They did the awards around 10 o'clock. And then So there really wasn't many people left for the half coming in. Like everybody just like scattered. So it is what it is. I still feel good. As soon as I finished the race, I was like, oh, time to go run some more. Like as soon as I crossed the finish line, I was like, felt like I should have ran a few more miles or something like that, because I don't know. It was just weird that I just felt like refreshed, like I didn't really do anything. Probably because I jogged in that last 10th after I started choking, so I was already recovered. But whatever. I gotta figure that out. Because if I can't be doing this when I'm geared up, trying to do like a dead sprint at the end, like having myself choke. So I gotta figure out how to avoid that for future races. We'll see what happens. Gonna head home, take a nap after I eat some food, get some more deer meat, tacos, then probably go run some more. That's about it.